Hello and welcome to week 4 of AC 1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that the contact information is down here with the name, the email address, and the phone number. We also have office hours on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific. They're not required, but they are a good place to go if you so choose. That is a different number. It is a call conference number. It does have a call conference code so that multiple people can be on that call if needed. We also have the option of a screen share software here that we can use in order to look at each other's screen and work problems in that way. That is a very effective tool, and so I do suggest using that. I do suggest using it as well with other participants if you so choose. So if you wanted to find other individuals in the class, you could go to participants here and send a message and see if you wanted to do a group meeting with each other with something like Skype, or there's a joinme.com software that could do some free screen sharing so that you can work problems together and visually see the work that each other are doing in that format. Also note that Amanda Edwards has hours as well, so her contact information is in the course announcements, and she usually has a Wednesday night tutoring session, so if you wanted to contact her, you could do that as well to set up some tutoring time if needed. We also could set up another time with myself if another time would work with this contact information as well. So keep that in mind. The website here is going to guide you to videos that are in this class. So all the links down here that are to videos within the Moodle shell should be also in this location as well. It'll also show you some of the future courses that you can take a look at. And you should be able to get in here without having to go into the portal and then into Moodle Rooms. So if you had something like a tablet or a phone and you saved this URL, then you could go directly into here and it would look like this. And then you could find your information is either going to be at the drop down here by the classes. But if you're on a phone or a tablet, this pages item should be either on the right hand side or below down here. And you're in Accounting Fundamentals. So this is the current class. You can go into future classes if you so choose. It's just going to be, if you scroll down, you'll eventually find the videos section, and these are going to be links down there. So if you click on the link, it'll take you down to the area that you would want to take a look at. Now, if you're having any issues with this website for any reason, they're also housed on the YouTube channel. So if you go to the YouTube channel and select the appropriate course, then you can find them in here. So I'm going to go to Accounting Fundamentals, and they'll be laid out here. They're not going to be in the best order here. So this is kind of the last resort, but they should be here somewhere. All right, so I'm going to go back to the course and take a look at the gradebook. That's going to be on the left-hand side. So remember that all grades are going to be due each week by Sunday. Your job is to look at the Moodle Room shell, check off that you have done everything. Then I have until Tuesday to move all those grades, much of them being from Connect to the gradebook. So by Tuesday, you want to go into the gradebook. All late work and everything that's current up through week 3 should then be in the gradebook. For example, this week 3 assignment, in this case, if you did the work, that dash should turn into whatever grade you receive on it. If you didn't do the work, it'll turn into a 0. At that time, you want to go in and verify that it is what you expected, having looked into it beforehand, and then see if you can pick up any work that you can at that time. And so I'm going to go back up top. We're going to go back to the cookie trail up top. Going to scroll down to week 4, which is the current week that we are in, and we're going to take a look at the resources here. We've got the objectives, we've got the topics, we've got the lessons. We're going to go on chapter 4 and 5 in this case. We started chapter 4 last time. Our main focus is chapter 4 this time. Then we'll start chapter 5. We will continue with chapter 5 next time, and that's it. Next week, in week 5, we will only be completing chapter 5. No completely new chapter will be started at that time. You've got your videos here. Some of these will repeat, and that is intentional. You do want to go back and watch that core concepts video really over and over and see if you completely understand those concepts. It's easy to have a pretty vague understanding of them, and then you just want to get it more and more down. I mean, to the point where you could basically rehearse that. That video would probably be good. And then you're going to go down, and this is going to be where you want to check off what you have done. So this portion of the Moodle sheet is where you want to check off everything you have done. I know that a lot of the work is actually in Connect up here, but this is your checkoff sheet. This is the sheet you want to go in and say, okay, I did that, did that, did that, did that, even though much of it will be done in Connect. The approach that we would take, I would assume to take with any class, would be pick up full credit on the discussion forums because you have the most control over that. You should get full credit, be aiming for full credit on that. Pick up as close to full credit as possible on the assignments and the homework because you have a lot of resources in order to do that. Then study as much as you can for the quizzes. And if you do not do as well on the quizzes as you hope to do, remember that they're worth 33%. Therefore, if you pick up full credit on the discussions and as much as possible on the assignments and the homework, you should be able to do quite well, even if your quiz scores are not as well as up as you would like them to be. And obviously, if you do these first, you'll be better prepared for the quizzes as well. So the approach to me would be full credit on the discussion forums. How do you get full credit on the discussion forums? You need at least 4 posts. I would highly recommend more than 4 posts. Those posts need to add to the conversation. To me, they can be posted to anybody, so you can respond to my posts. You don't have to respond to my posts, even if I ask a direct quote to or a direct question to your thread. You can answer someone else's thread or a question I pose to someone else's thread. Anything is open on the discussion forums, but you need a minimum of 4 to get it, and they have to basically add to the content, to the conversation within the discussion forums. The assignments, we have one that's going to be in Connect, and this one's in Moodle Rooms. So remember that this one's going to be turned into Moodle Rooms. You want to check this one off that you have done it, even though it's done in Connect. And of course, if you go to Connect, that assignment will be in week 4. And I would actually do them in this order. You know, I would do the homeworks first because they're going to be the Learn Smarts that will walk you through the book. And then I would do this assignment. The assignment is the longer assignment. It's usually the larger assignment. Make sure to do it because this resource here, this paperclip, will give you usually an Excel sheet with videos and an example problem that will usually give you a lot of information to put into this Connect account so you should be able to get a lot of the formatting from this worksheet. So there's no reason to get a 0 on this assignment because simply the formatting will be in the paperclip. The idea of the longer assignment is in a lot of ways it's actually easier in some ways because you get to see the full picture. So even though it's a lot of data entry, we're trying to give you a lot of information in order to do it because that's where you get to see the full picture, other than these types of Learn Smarts where you usually see a little piece of the picture, and therefore it can be a little bit harder actually, even though they're going to be very small problems. They can be more difficult in some ways because you don't see the entire trial balance, or the general ledger is not available to you. And that's the same for the quizzes down here. So you want to take a look at the big picture here, and then you want to redo basically the Learn Smarts and try to see, well, what if they didn't show me the trial balance? How can I figure something out without the aid of the trial balance or the general ledger if they take that away? Again, in real life, they wouldn't take that away, really, because you would generally have access to the trial balance and whatnot. But it does test your knowledge well if that stuff is taken away and you're forced to figure something out in an order with limited information. That's the format that the Learn Smarts are often in. That's the format that the assignments and the quizzes will often be in. So remember, make sure to use this paperclip to do that problem. And then this paperclip is a Moodle Rooms assignment. So the only reason it's in Connect right now is to just make sure that people don't skip it, because like I say, people often don't go back to Moodle Rooms and look at this and say, okay, this is what I need to check off, like we should. This is where you want to check it off. And therefore, this assignment often gets skipped. This is the same worksheet that's going to be here, just so people don't skip it. But remember that the worksheet needs to be turned into Moodle Rooms. So these paper clips here do not get turned into Connect. This one's just to help this assignment. This one is to be turned into Moodle Rooms, and that'll be turned in here. So you go to here, you open this assignment up, and you will have a submit button down there. Once the week is open, that's where you want to submit it. If you submitted it to Connect in the past, that's okay. Just resubmit it to Moodle Rooms, and you can easily do that. Just find it, open it up, and you'll be able to download the document, and then just resubmit it to Moodle Rooms. I won't take off any late points for that if that's the case, because I know that's a little confusing. And then you got to check off the connects, which those are the Learn Smarts here. And then once you take the quiz, of course, complete the quiz and check that off. Make sure to take the quiz by Sunday. Quizzes cannot generally be made up unless there's an unusual circumstance. Therefore, even if you're not prepared, take the quiz. It's a multiple choice question quiz, so even if you're not fully prepared, you should be able to pick up some points. Some points are better than no points on the quiz, so make sure to get that in. If there is a question, you're going to have to contact me, and I take that on a case-by-case basis as to late work. Notice that these assignments, you lose points on the late work, but if you run into a time constraint, then these can often be picked up for late credit, whereas the quiz generally cannot unless there's an unusual circumstance. So keep that in mind. And that's it for week 4. So have a great week 4.